Good morning. Welcome to Peru, and more specifically, welcome to the town of Ollantaytambo in the Sacred Valley. This is an incredibly important place, mostly because it serves as a gateway for thousands of people who every single day are ferried back and forth to the lost city of the Incas, Machu Picchu. And where I am right now, if you can see behind me, are the train tracks, right? The train station here in Ollantaytambo. You can probably hear the train that's right up ahead of me. But you know me. I'm not going to take the train to Machu Picchu. No. In a few minutes, I'm going to be picked up by my guide, where I'll be joining about a dozen others as we embark on a short but intense 4-day hike up and over the Andes until we reach Machu Picchu on foot. It is going to be a 45-kilometer trek, about 28 miles. Why do I say intense? Well, the starting elevation is 8,900 feet. The finishing elevation is 14,000 feet. So, finishing elevation, or I should say the highest point, will be around 4,200 meters. So certainly altitude sickness is a factor. I've been through for 3 days already with my travel companion, Debbie, as we acclimate to the elevation. Hopefully it's helped, and let's get going. Okay, so here we are after about a half-hour bus ride from Ollantaytambo. We are at the trailhead, and these are all the porters and guides from our group, Alpaca Expeditions, getting everything ready to head out. Let's get this party started.
Yeah, it would be like, I'm slowly getting a bit better. I really want to start.
Hey. So, I actually have no idea how long we've been hiking at this point because, well, you know me, I messed up my watch and didn't start it for like the first mile of the day. Typical Michelle. Yeah, I know. Anyway, I think we've gone around 5.5 of the 8.5 miles we're supposed to do today, and been hiking for about 3 hours. But we definitely started more than that ago. The cool thing about this hike, well, I mean, beyond the fact that we're in the Andes and it's stunning, is that the Inca Trail really is kind of like the Way of St. James. It is an ancient pilgrimage route, in this case to Machu Picchu. And so, you know, as you walk along the way, you encounter different sets of runes. And so every time we do, our guide stops and gives us an explanation. And one of the really cool things that we found out about today is that, you know, the first several miles of this route, we're not really walking on the original Inca Trail. And that is because when the Spaniards first arrived in Peru in the 1500s, the Incas essentially destroyed the first few miles of the trail so that the Spaniards wouldn't know that it was there and they wouldn't find Machu Picchu. And of course, that's the whole mystery of the city, right? And why it's called the lost city of Machu Picchu. It's because it was never discovered by the Spaniards when they were here.
I told you Ollantaytambo is the last village in the Inca Trail. Just until here is allowed the horses, is allowed the motorcycles. Huh?
This is it. Home for tonight. Gotta find my tent. Okay, so several hours later and 8.5 miles later, we made it to camp. Our first camp on the Inca Trail. We are back at the same elevation of Cusco, so around 3,400 meters. I think that's around 11,000 feet. So not expecting a great night's sleep, but I mean, the camp looks really nice. The tents are good. You know, the mattresses that they're giving us are good. I brought my own sleeping bag, so since I do have all my equipment, I only didn't bring my mattress because, well, at the last minute I realized it didn't fit in my luggage. But anyway, today was good. Tough, I mean, as to be expected, you're crossing the Andes, but I thought it was just an amazing experience, and looking forward to our group dinner tonight.
Hot banana.
No way.
How do you call this a little bananas in your country? Little banana.
Little banana.
Banana flambe. I am not worthy. These are our porters. Amazing. Good morning. It is day 2 on the Inca Trail where, so this is crazy. Well, I'm an hour and a half in and I've only walked 1.3 miles. So today's going to be 2 mountain passes, straight up, straight down, 10 miles total, so 16 kilometers. We're going to go to our highest point around 4,200 meters, so close to 14,000 feet. It is super steep. There's very little oxygen. I'm dying. I'm the back of the pack as usual, but look at this. Look at this. I mean, it is just so gorgeous that frankly, I couldn't care less that I'm back of the pack. I mean, it is what it is. And yeah, in the morning I didn't have time to do any vlogging, and the whole way here, I mean, again, it's like, it's all climbing stairs, like rock stairs. So you can't breathe. All I can do is focus on my feet. So now that we took a little bit of a break, I figured I'd show you like just how gorgeous this is. Although I've got to say, we're in a little break right now. Most of the walk that we've done has been like under canopy. It looks very like jungle-like. Super cool. Really gorgeous. Our next stop is Dead Woman's Pass. And this is why I can't walk and talk at the same time. Just look at the size of these mountains. Oh, look at that. Look at that. It's ridiculous. Oh. Vamos, Michelle. Vamos, chicos. Almost. The puedes! I'm gonna die. High five. Woohoo! I have to say, I think I'm probably killing my knees one Inca step at a time, but I'm also totally geeking out here. Just thinking about how I'm walking like on the same, roads, trail that the ancient Incan royal family and the sort of VIPs did back in the day as they made their way to Machu Picchu. I mean, that's just so cool. And yes, I think I said this during my Camino vlog as well. I was having a total moment walking on the ancient Roman roads. And yes, this is not nearly as old, only 600 years old, but still nonetheless just so cool. And I mean, you absolutely cannot beat the views, although they're in front of me, not behind me at the moment. So, or maybe they are behind me. Not bad. No, not bad. But it's better in front of me. You'll have to take my word for it.
Yeah,
That was the justice. No? And this place was a post office, or the post station for those justices.
Noise, yeah.
Hola amigos, profes, compañeros, buenos días, Cacho, Ayunchi Cacho, no Casoti, Fernando.
Fernando.
Okay, it is day 3, the easiest day on the Inca Trail. Well, the easiest day is when we walk into Machu Picchu, but that really isn't much of a hike. Anyway, yesterday, oh my God, it was so tiring, so long that today we got a little bit of a sleep in. We got to get up at 5:30 in the morning. Is that exciting or what? And so, unfortunately, yesterday when we got in, it was so foggy and so rainy, we couldn't see any of the background here. And really, it's such a gorgeous campsite. It is a shame that we didn't get to see it then, but at least we get to see it now. So that's kind of cool. Today, we have a little bit of a mountain pass, but I understand most of it is going to be downhill. And we've officially left the Andes, so we're going to be walking through the Peruvian cloud forest. And the little taste we got of it last night as we were walking in was gorgeous. So I'm really looking forward to it, hoping the clouds lift and we get a little bit of sun. Let's get going.
No? And you know, guys, the Incas, they did sacrifices in children.
Ah, ele tava fazendo um monte de coisa que eu precisava.
Ele te mandou no WhatsApp, qual foi?
Mandou no WhatsApp.
É? Que mandou no WhatsApp?
Hey, hey. Today has been a truly gorgeous day. You know, the guides had told us from the beginning that day 3 was going to be like the prettiest. And I always wondered, like, really? I thought that like yesterday would be the prettiest, you know, because all the climbing and descending and the Andes Mountains and those gorgeous views and all of that good stuff. And I mean, it was spectacular. But I get what they meant. After we crossed the second, and I mentioned that this morning, after we crossed the second mountain pass yesterday, we basically left the Andes behind and descended into the cloud forest, which is basically the gateway to the Amazon here in Peru. And you can really feel like that jungle, you know, vibe with the vegetation and the weather. But it's also called the cloud forest because it's basically like covered in clouds all the time. And it's beautiful. I mean, you do kind of wish that it would clear a little bit and you could see a little bit more of the mountains. But when you have that mist just like floating in and out, and it's such a cool effect. And I mean, really unbelievable. And what's been nice too is that they weren't lying when they said it was the easy day. We've been stopping like to do all these photo breaks and, you know, story breaks because we've had a couple of different Inca sites along the way. I think that's one thing I'd mentioned early on, which is, you know, this was a pilgrimage route for the Incan royal family that they would undertake during the winter and summer solstices. There's actually an easier way to get to Machu Picchu that the Incas had, which is to simply follow a path along the river, and you get there in 6 hours from where we started, not in 4 days. But, you know, this is the royal family's way. And again, today has been not really a lot of climbing, mostly descending, like 3 hours of descending. And you're like, oh, descending's easy, Michelle. No, not when they're like steep rock Inca steps, all of them uneven, of course, you know. So we've had a couple of people like slip out already. Fortunately, no actual injuries, but, you know, I think we still have like another hour. We're getting into town really early today. Well, not town, into our campsite really early today, because my understanding is there is a main Inca site like right before Machu Picchu there, which is supposed to be really cool to visit. And that some folks say that like pre-pandemic, people would enjoy that more than Machu Picchu because, you know, it got a little bit out of hand in terms of the number of visitors that used to be allowed. The nice thing is that as a result of the pandemic, they've really limited the number of folks allowed inside, which is great because, you know, this is one of your treasures, and if it's overrun, it's only going to last so long. So you want to, you know, preserve it as best you can. And the government has really cracked down on the number of visitors and also the number of people allowed on the Inca Trail. Everyone talks about how crowded it is. And we barely ever run into the other groups on the trail at the same time. I'm told that they time it so that, you know, people leave at different hours and things like that. We're also traveling with a group that does different campsites and than the majority of the others do. And that makes it as well so that you don't really see other people while you're hiking, which is fantastic because that's what you want when you're out in something like this, right? You don't want to be with 300 of your best friends or whatever that number may be.
Look where we are!
I mean, is it amazing or what?
Heaven on earth, man. We earned it.
Arriving at our third and final campsite on the Inca Trail, and I have to say, these views do not suck.
Okay, please bucket, guys. Enjoy your papalahuancaína.
Pretty good. It was great. Yeah.
Vegetables.
How old are you now? 37. Yeah, so you're old enough to know what was going on.
Pizza from Pizza Hut.
Mike can put that order in yesterday.
Oh my God.
Or non-veg. Oh, I'll swim.
We can move everything down.
Wow.
That rice looks good, man.
Looks good.
Welcome to Wiñay, which translated means forever young. This archaeological site is just absolutely amazing. I don't even know what to say. And it's supposed to be the warm-up for Machu Picchu. The best thing about it is there's like nobody here. I mean, a couple of groups and that's about it. But I mean, oh my God, look at that. It's just absolutely magnificent. And it's, you know, it's incredible because the more you learn about it, the more it makes sense, right? I mean, there's all of these Inca sites along the Inca Trail because when the royal families would do their pilgrimage to Machu Picchu twice a year, they needed places to stay along the way, right? So some of these are places where they would come and stay. Others are outposts where they would send messages to each other. This one is a combination where there were homes, but also the agricultural terraces. So when you see these circles, a lot of it is just, this is the way that they farmed their crops. Back there, those were the homes where people lived. And I believe it's supposed to, from what we understand, there were about 11 homes here. So they estimate that no more than 50 people lived here at any time. But I mean, look at that. Look at that. Again, and this is the warm up to Machu Picchu. So anyway, I figured this would be a good way to close out the day. Tomorrow we have a super early start. I think we get up before 4 a.m. or something like that. But that's another day. For now, just enjoy the view. Good morning. It is day 4 on the Inca Trail, which means that today we are walking into Machu Picchu. We also started our day at 3:30 in the morning to get to this control point that does not open till 5:30, but it's apparently important to get here to get a seat and get shelter while we wait for them to open, and then the last push into Machu Picchu. Buenos días. Good morning. So after a 3:15 wake-up call, arrival at the control point at 4 a.m. We are now on our way to Machu Picchu. First, we have a short half an hour hike, which we are doing now to get to the Sun Gate. And this really is what makes this hike so unique. You know, there are other trails that you can take to get to Machu Picchu, but this is the only one that allows you to enter the lost city of the Incas through the Sun Gate, which is the way that they used to come through back in the 1400s. So that's just like super cool, and the weather looks great. Clouds are clearing up and sun is rising. It's just like gorgeous. Look at that. I know. It's just stunning. And so here we go, onto the Sun Gate and onto Machu Picchu.
Oh, that's our campsite.
Welcome, welcome.
Oh my God. This is it. Amazing.